How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is the first live stream from the new series from, oh goodness, I am spacing out already. It's too early for this. Hills of Tuscany. Whoo! That's a great way to start out a live stream. How is everybody doing out there tonight? I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Saw a couple of names out there. Crimea River, saw you out there. I also saw Jody. Oh, Crimea River, thank you so much. Starting this stream out strong. Holy smokes. Oh, you know what? My day is fantastic. It has been just a you know what? It's. Let me rephrase that. It's been kind of a roller coaster of emotions today, but I'll get into a little bit more detail about that here in a little bit. But glad to hear that you're doing good, Jody. Crimea River, how you doing? So glad to be hanging out with y'all again. This has been been way too long. I feel like we've been haven't had a live stream in like a while now. This is crazy. It's funny how we start doing this consistently. We're going at it, and then all of a sudden, you so many things that are going on with map tours, updates, all that stuff that kind of they take the priority on the channel, and then it kind of puts these things off to the side. That and starting this new series, getting everything kind of spun up to where now we're kind of at a point to where we can start doing the uh, the live streams to where it kind of makes sense. Uh, it just felt like it took forever to get back to here. Jody, you love playing on this map? Oh, you know what? I'm really digging it too. It was on a short list of a couple of maps that were going to be hopped on if this one kind of fell through. Uh, so I'll go ahead and give you kind of the list of what was on that short list. One of them was the Carpathian countryside. I was thinking about that one after the whole the Valley, the old farm. Uh, I was thinking about that, but then I got to thinking, it's like, you know what, Mr. Sealy P just got done doing his series on that one, so yeah, I'll kind of spread out somewhere else, kind of thing. So now I was thinking, well, maybe something like Adelshoven. Maybe that would be a good one to kind of do, because just how the terrain and topography is on that map, it's got so much going on, and it has almost every single crop type already pre-planted into it. So we could have done a ton of different stuff on that map. But I kind of had a trajectory on how I wanted this particular series to go. I had this all kind of laid out to where the family or the friend was kind of be in the background and going to help them out along the way. And I set this all up to kind of coincide with that kind of storyline. So I wanted to kind of find one that was going to have things like grapes, olives that were already going to be in there, because that's what I wanted them to be into, is the whole grape uh, line of business, the whole vineyard and all that stuff. So I think this map kind of trumped out everything once everything, was said and done. Let's see. What do you look for in a map? So there's quite a bit actually that I look for when playing a map. So one, and probably the easiest to check off my list, is the map cannot be flat. There's very few exceptions to where I will play a flat map, but it all is based on the aesthetics, the kind of look. That's kind of the primary focus. So there's got to be good line of sight. There's got to be a lot of things kind of breaking up the scenery. Then after that, there's got to be some kind of component to the map to where it just looks aesthetically pleasing, and it is uh, typically a kind of cut above the rest. So this one was really nice, I thought, because it had a couple of additional uh, product types that would allow me to kind of incorporate them into the storyline I wanted to tell. Because like I said, I wanted to start this series off as a kind of helping out somebody who has gotten involved with a vineyard and is really kind of not equipped properly, kind of thing. So then I wanted to kind of not only build myself up at my farm, but then also build them up. And the added dynamic of them being so far into debt and so far into, so far unequipped was kind of everything I wanted to kind of tackle in this whole series here. Other things I look for in a map are those maps that don't feel too cartoony. I say this very often in map tours, is when I see a map where there's tons of color and it's just sprinkled everywhere, and specifically what I mean by color is like the little wildflowers that are growing all over the map kind of thing. You'll see them like all over next to the road, and if it feels like I'm driving down Mario's Rainbow Road, then that's too much for me, kind of thing. So it's one of those where I just kind of, I have like a certain taste, and it's maybe easy to interpret what that taste is when following like the map tours and things like that. When I give the kind of grading scale, that grading scale is kind of like my own personal feeling about the map. Would I play it? Would I not? Kind of thing. The higher the score I give it, the more likely I would be to play. But let's see. I try to find a list of maps I can play on. Yeah, so I mean, there's tons of different maps that, like I said, that were on the short list. So a couple of them that I was really considering, like I said, was Edelshoven. That one I really like because it's got a good mix of all the different crop types. It's already pre-installed on the map. There's tons of elevation change, and it gets very hilly and mountainous in some areas, and it makes the farming very, very difficult. That was a map that I had played on a long time ago before I even started doing YouTube, and I really enjoyed that map. Another map that made the short list was the Old Stream. Was it the Old Stream Farm? It was the other Black Sheep modding map that came out a really long time ago. I was kind of kicking around that one, thinking about that, but I'm like, that might be too old and not too quote-unquote relevant nowadays. Another one that was on the short list was Calmsden's Farm, but that one was also kind of, not showing its age, but it was kind of older. There's been so many new maps that have come out, and I didn't want to dig too deep into the maps to kind of find the map that I would like. Now, Calmsden is kind of the exact opposite of the maps I've listed up in this point, to where the maps I've listed up to this point, the Valley of the Old Farm, Edelshoven has some big fields, but not like the entire map, to where Old Stream Farm, that's all small-ish to medium-sized fields. This map is small to medium-sized. There's a couple somewhat larger fields, but not too bad. Other than that, there's just, Calmsden's like the exact opposite. Every single field is a beast of a field, and just kind of one of those where you need to have hours and hours and hours to dedicate the time in order to love giving. Is that supposed to be I love giving grace to maps. I'm sorry, Jody, is that supposed to be ratings? Let's see. So this got a couple of contracts. As you can see here, I've got contracts on 13, 28, and 58, and also got one spare for 26. So this one should be for 13. Let's go ahead and bring that up. And I'll just go ahead and send a worker to drive the tractor over. Some other components I look for on a map that I'm really interested in playing are how easy is it to distinguish where I'm going. So there was a map tour I did just recently. It was earlier this week, and I couldn't see anything where I was going, how to get from point A to point B. So I eventually just made it to where I just hopped around right towards the very end, specifically when I was looking at the fields, not the fields, the what is it called? The pens, the animal pastures, things like that. So it's just one of those that the road networks, words are hard, were just impossible to find and follow. I love that little trick. If you weren't aware of just being able to set your thing on top of the header trailer there, and just kind of letting the game do the work, that's a cool little trick. I always love doing that. But I wanted to go through a few quick announcements today because there's a lot of stuff going on the channel, and I just want to make sure that everybody's kind of up to date on everything that's going on. So right now I have created a couple of new ways to be able to follow the progress and things that are going on the channel. So what I've done is I've created a Instagram account, a Facebook account, and a Twitter account. Trying to branch out and be able to have more ways to be able to follow along what's going on with the channel, all those kind of things that are just kind of happening and going on. You can follow me on Instagram at BDD Gaming _22. You can follow me at Facebook at BDD Gaming, and then Twitter, or what's now known as X. That one is BDD Gaming 2022. So all of those will be getting updates as things come out. So as map tours, map updates, let's plays, live streams, all those things kind of happening. The reason I ended up setting up the social media was because, one, just wanted to offer another avenue to get messaging out to people who might not be familiar with the streams and all that stuff. Also wanted to be able to try to combat the messaging system that is YouTube. So sometimes YouTube has a really hard time with being able to properly send out notifications when things are going on for certain channels. So going live is a perfect example. Sometimes they'll send out an email, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll message you, sometimes they won't. It's just really difficult to determine whether or not YouTube is going to let everybody know. So this way, it's kind of a means of me being able to kind of get out there and hopefully bring new people along to the channel who may not have actually searched out on YouTube, but at the same time be able to keep everyone informed and trying to get as many social medias as possible without that turning into the new full-time job kind of thing. So yeah, it's something I'm really excited about, and I believe there's already a couple of people I recognize. Oh, hey, there's the tractor right there. A couple of people I recognize who are already following me on various platforms, and I believe, Jody, you're one of them who I believe I've seen pop up on Instagram. So I appreciate you checking out the Instagram and checking out and following along, and being such a great supporter of the channel. And just everybody, thank you for all your support and everything that you do, tuning in and kicking back and having fun. Just really thank you so much. Also wanted to announce that Crimea River, normally you are the only one I get to say this for, and I'm going to say this again right now. Thank you so much for being a tier 2 member of the channel. It is an excellent thing that you help support this channel. The $20 that you just sent, also thank you again so much. But you are now no longer the only tier 2 member of the channel. I'm very excited to announce Mark K. Thank you so much for being another BDD farmhand and a tier 2 member of the channel. Just such an amazing thing. We've got such an amazing audience out there, and I'm just so happy that everybody is getting on board with what's this channel is all about and what we're trying to do around here. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. And this kind of leads me to a real quick plug for memberships. If you're at all interested in helping out and supporting the channel, please check out the join button on the channel page. It goes to help this channel directly, allows me to reinvest into the channel to upgrade my setup as best as possible. Due to all your kind efforts and donations to the channel, I was recently able to get a new microphone, and I think it makes the channel just sound incredible and come through loud and clear. It's just, your support is helping make this a bigger and better operation as we go into the future. I have such big plans for this channel, and this is how we're going to be able to accomplish those things. As a tier 1 subscriber, you get things like early access to the channel, emotes, emojis, custom badges that are all just unique to this channel. And I think Crimea River and the Forge TCG both have the second month badges right now. So they've got little John Deere tractors that they're supporting on their logos, and next to their usernames is fantastic to see. And as a tier 2 member, you get early access to the edited material that gets posted onto YouTube. So if you want, up to and including a whole day worth of early access, that's how you can get that. So check that out. If it's something that you would like to do, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it helps go a long way into the support and the viability of this channel. Thank you all so much for considering. It is not compulsory. It's not mandatory. Everything that you do, I greatly appreciate. And those were the big announcements I wanted to make for the channel, and I need to I need to pay attention to where I'm going, but I also need to bring up the chat again because I had to go to the other screen. Let's pop that out really quick and then go back to here. Oops, I am pushing all the wrong buttons. There we go. And I guess it won't let me do that. Anyways, so let me catch up with the chat here real quick. Although some of the classic maps for this game, yes, absolutely. So there's so many great maps out there, so many. I mean, without going like too overboard with it, we're almost spoiled. You know what, that's probably the wrong word. I was going to say we're almost spoiled with the maps that we have, but it's not necessarily as spoiled as much as our cup runneth full with the various different types of maps that we have out there. Is just an amazing thing to be able to see. All the modders and map makers out there, that make this community and give us so much access to all these various types of mods and mod maps, and everything that's out there is just such an amazing thing, and just makes this game so amazing. I'm not going to get into a big old rant of how amazing this game is, because I've said that numerous times, but it is just an amazing thing. Let's see, let me catch back up. Yes, so Jody, you said yes in regards to the ratings. Yeah, it was one of those things where I know there's other YouTubers who will kind of give their, stamp of what they think and whatnot. Or at bare minimum, I've seen other YouTubers they'll list out what the star rating is from the mod hub kind of thing and not render an opinion. When I was first starting this channel, I was actually almost a little hesitant to do the ratings at the end of the map tours, and the reason for that was that I didn't want it to seem like when I gave a bad review, I didn't want people to think that I was coming at them from a place of negativity, or that I was attacking them or anything like that. That's why I tend to go very long-winded on when I do give a negative review or a negative score, to really overemphasize that this is not to be mean or coming from a place of ill will. This is simply a hopes of, if the map maker hears it, that they will potentially use it to either take it away and use it for any improvements that they could do for the future for that map or any other projects they have going on in the future. I was really nervous of, stepping on people's toes kind of thing and making people upset, which is the last thing I want to do. But then I decided, it's one of those things that as long as I come at it from a position of good faith, that I'm more than willing to explain why it is that I don't necessarily like it. And at the end of the day, it's just an opinion kind of thing. And I, like everybody else, am allowed to have those things. And that's what made me decide to kind of include the ratings into the tours and whatnot. Is just wanted to be able to go through the tour and then kind of, is this something that I would play? Is this something I would even consider, passing on to the next person kind of things? Like, hey, at the end of each tour, would I recommend this map to somebody else, anybody else kind of thing? And that's what the rating is kind of in the end, is to just, this is where I kind of stand on it kind of thing. Let's see. I have trouble sometimes saying certain words. You know what? You followed me long enough. I'm in the exact same boat. Sometimes words are hard, and it gets a little brutal sometimes. Let's see. How far are you on Facebook and Instagram? So right now, I've got the pages set up to where they're at minimum aesthetically pleasing. Outside of that, I need to go through and kind of go through the whole follows and all that stuff, just who I want to kind of keep track of and kind of follow along with the channel. And I don't intend to use it very much for the following aspect, but the follows are really going to be more driven towards like manufacturers for all the various tractors, harvesters, and things like that we see in game. Just kind of things that I might see or may find interesting that would be relatable to the game itself, kind of thing. But outside of that, it's really kind of a means to be able to get the word out that something's going on with the channel or something has happened with the channel, and kind of go from there, kind of thing. And now that that's kind of set up and working the way I anticipate it, let's go ahead and, nope, this way. Let's see, so that's the harvester there. Where's the, oh, it's over there. Let's see, what else? Hey Jody, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words. Like I said, I greatly appreciate every single person out there who is engaged with the channel, who's, following along with the content, who's messaging me, all those things. It goes to just really help the channel along, all the comments and all that stuff. It goes to the YouTube algorithms to help, get me out to, others and all that stuff. And it's just, I just love engaging with you guys. It's so much fun to be able to just kind of come on here or to see how everybody's day is going through comments. Just an excellent thing. And I really do appreciate everybody who's following along and engaging in the channel. I cannot hook this up to the front, so I gotta... Do I have the skills? Probably not. Oof. These swivel axles. Ha ha ha, there we go. Let's see. First of the month and I'm becoming a... Oh, Jody, you know what? I greatly appreciate that. I'll look forward to seeing you there when you get there. I really do. Let's see. So turn in here. Now this one, what the second contract was for? 28. Where is 28? Oops. That's 58 across the way from 13. Where's 28? Oh, right down there. Okay. Well, I guess I could set up... Can't really see where this field gets me, so let's go there. Oops. And then let's set up the Deutzfahr. Let's see. American Falls, that's a map. Yes. I keep hearing such great things about American Falls. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm still not up to date with the full controversy behind what's going on with Lancey Boy in regards to that. From what I have kind of gathered, and I think I got most of this from Crimea River, that I guess... Whoa. Hey, double tap. There we go. I guess Lancey Boy got upset by things people were saying in the community, and now he's no longer going to be doing maps and mods and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a real bummer. But I'm really looking forward to that map coming out, and whenever that becomes available. Really enjoy Lancey Boy and their mods and their maps. So, it's a real shame that all that stuff's going on. Let's see. That's what I love about your map tours and honest and fair. Oh, was this where I needed to turn? This is where I need to turn. The way I approach the map tours, like I said, is from a position of good faith. I don't want to, just come out and just start spitting flames and, being just kind of some kind of instigator, agitator kind of thing. That's the last thing that I personally want. I don't want to cause drama. Like, drama's the last thing I want in my daily life, let alone, to just be out in the world kind of thing. But it's one of those that I want to put out content to where in, let's say 10 to 15 years, that if my daughter were to see on the internet, because, the internet is forever kind of thing, that she could go on there and be like, hey, that's my father, and it's something that she can look back and find respectful kind of thing. I don't want to be that kind of person that in, 10, 15 years and regret what's out there kind of thing. So that's kind of what drives me to be, the certain, put the kind of content out there that I put out. I don't want to, you know what? I don't know how to get back to this field. So the field is kind of tucked away back. Wait. Oh, it's this road. I'm on the wrong road. There is no way to get to it, is there? Oh, no, wait, there is. Okay, so I got to go down that side road. That makes sense. But no, like I was saying, I want to be able to put out content where, if my daughter were to watch it in however long a time, that she would know that her father was, being respectful, wasn't some jerk on the internet kind of thing. And that's why I try to very hard, when I have to, not have to, because you never have to be negative, but when I am going to be negative towards whether a map or anything in particular, to couch it in and say, this is meant to be constructive criticism, this is not meant to be mean, and I always try to put out there as well that, I'm greatly appreciative for every map maker out there, because not everybody is me. Not everybody's going to agree with my opinion. Not everybody's going to, find what I have to say insightful or informative kind of thing. So they might just be one of those where at the end of the day, to them, my opinion means nothing. And they might think that what I'm gonna give a 1 or a 0 or whatever, they'd give a 5 kind of thing, and that's fine. That's completely fine. That's also the great thing about this game is it's to each their own kind of thing. Whatever suits you is great. So yeah, that's kind of the whole principle and driving force behind the rating system. Why I decided to come up with it, to do it in the first place. Wait a minute. Did I just? Wow, I'm just chatting away and not even paying attention where I'm driving to. Let's see. Yeah, some people going social media and see some real bad things about them. Yeah, and that's really sad. The fact that that anybody would go out of their way to go after Lancey Boy in any way, I don't know. It just seems, whoa. I am just having a real hard time tonight with paying attention to what I'm doing. But the fact that anybody would go onto social media and just be a kind of agitator, disturber, kind of thing, whether it's doing it to be a troll or doing it to just be because you're wanting to. People could be going out there and saying their honest opinions, kind of thing. They might have some kind of grievance against, the creations or whatever. And that's fine. Like me, like I said, I will say negative things about, a map or never a map maker. Like I never would go out and say, oh, well, Lancey Boy's this or Lancey Boy's that. That's not what I'm saying. That's what I would do. I would critique the quote unquote art, not the artist kind of thing. And if people are like going out there and criticizing or doing something to Lancey Boy themselves, then shame on them. That's unacceptable. And I wouldn't blame them for wanting to kind of retract back and whatnot. But in the end, it really hurts the community, because you take a look at some of the things that Lancey Boy has created both in the past and in the present. Like they're fantastic. They're excellent stuff. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to American Falls. I want to see what they do with that, because as far as I'm aware, Lancey Boy really focuses on a lot of UK maps, and I think this is one, at least in my recent memory that I can think of, where it was whoa, that's a big bump right there. That's one of my recent memory where I could think of them actually making a non-UK or non-European style map. So I was really looking forward to that one. But, let's see. He's still going to mod and map, but he's not going to be... Oh, see, okay, so that's my misunderstanding. I thought he was pulling back from the modding and from all that stuff. Okay, so that makes more sense. I was really going to be bummed out if they weren't going to be modding anymore, because a lot of their stuff is fantastic. A lot of their sheds and their maps too. I mean, just a lot of their stuff is really top notch. But I don't blame people from retracting from social media. Social media can be just such a double-edged sword, such a blessing and a curse kind of thing. And I personally, I fall on the side of let people talk kind of thing. And I think that's a good reason to invent things like mute button. If you don't want to hear what people are saying, then prevent yourself from hearing it. But they should be allowed to be out there and be jerks, especially, living in America, we have the freedom of speech and stuff like that. You might not like what people are going to say, but have to respect the right to say it, kind of thing. But it's a shame that there are people out there who are going to, you know, cause that kind of abuse that would re- that would send somebody into recoiling away from social media. That's also the reason why I was so hesitant in the first place to create a social media. But in the end, it's one of those that I don't intend on really using it as a mode of, necessarily communication. Like, I use YouTube for my main source of communication, and talking with people, especially through the comments and all that stuff. Now, I could see that if people are trying to reach out directly or things like that, um, that I could reply, really quick to comments and stuff like that on other platforms. But it's just one of those that, in the end, like I said, in the end, I feel that social media and just really the kind of internet in general is kind of a blessing and a curse. There's a lot of good that has come from the internet and a lot of bad that's come from the internet too, and it's a real shame. But it's always one of those kind of give and takes. You get the good, you get the bad, and hopefully you kind of fall somewhere in between. Let's see. He's a great map maker and modern. Yes, he is a fantastic map maker and a great modder. Yeah, everything I've ever tried from Lancy Boy, I've always held in high regards. Certainly up there with a lot of my favorite map makers. Like, I've always said, I really respect Zero Ito and their map making skills. I hold them as probably one of my favorite map makers, just because of how detail oriented they are, with all the kind of, not the kind of stuff that would, you would immediately notice, like if you're the casual gamer kind of thing. If you were just hopping on here kind of giving it a try kind of thing, you might not even realize it's there. But it's one of those things that if you're somebody who's paying attention, who's really kind of into the game and seeing all the things that other maps have to offer versus the one that you're on, Zero Ito I think is my personal favorite, but Lancy Boy is definitely up there. Their mods and maps are just top tier. Let's see. Puts all his mods back on the mods. Yes, so that's also a great thing about Lancy Boy, is that they will sit there and not only publish a map, but then they'll publish the mods that are associated to that map as well, which allows you to then incorporate those mods that are being used on the maps into the other maps that are not Lancy Boys, and that's just fantastic. And I really wish that more modders would kind of take that approach, because it would be such a let's see, I gotta empty all this out. It'd be, well, it would create a ton more work for them, and I understand why a lot of them don't do it, but at the same time, it's one of those, like, as a person in the community, and the selfish side of me wants to be like, yeah, I'd love to be able to have every single modder go out of their way and put every single thing as like a la carte kind of thing. But I recognize that's the selfish side of me. I understand that they have lives, that they have things, bigger and greater to do than, make content for free, for us to play on Farming Simulator kind of thing. So it's one of those, I completely get why they don't, and why some do, kind of thing. Yes, that is exactly it. Is that those small details make the map come alive and really make it, something to behold. That's really the reason why I like uh, Zero Ito so much is because, they have all those little details. I'm just going to cut through here. All those little details that really just help make a map just pop. You know, silly little things that you wouldn't even notice as a casual gamer. But good example would be the gas stations. They'll have traffic splines that actually go into the gas station, stop for a little while, as if they're filling up their tanks, and then move on, kind of thing. They'll drive away from there, and it's just that silly little detail that just makes it. And one of my biggest issues with Zero Ito is the music um, aspect that they put into their maps. And I saw that Mr. Sealy P is actually doing a Let's Play. I haven't watched any of the episodes just yet, but he's doing a Let's Play on um, Frontier, which is one of Zero Ito's maps. Oh, looks like yeah, they're not unloaded just yet. And I sitting there, and it's like, ooh, you're a braver person than me, kind of thing in that regard, because I would be, I wouldn't know what to do if the channel got some kind of strike or something like that. And it's one of those that I would, make my way through it and all that stuff. But it's one of those that I'm trying to play by the rules. I'm trying to be a good boy. Don't want to, get on the bad side of YouTube. I've seen plenty of creators who, not that they played fast and loose, but they've gotten on the bad side of the YouTube, overlords, and then all of a sudden they're not able to stream for a week, or they're not able to do whatever, kind of thing, and then they're having to walk on eggshells and all that stuff, and certainly don't want that to happen for the channel, kind of thing. Just, I'm gonna be a good boy, mind my P's and Q's. So this is 58, so this is back up there. I love the cowshed that's on the... so I think I know which cowshed you're talking about, and I need to give it a deeper look, because I have certain, like, cowsheds and stuff that... Well, I have certain mods I really want to use for a Let's Play, but for this particular Let's Play, there's absolutely no way that any of these mods, I'd be able to use any of them. One, they're American mods. They're like American barns and in that kind of style, so it just wouldn't fit here in Italy, kind of thing. But at the same time, they're massive. They're absolutely massive structures, and I would love to be able to use them, but it's just one of those that, because they're so large, you have to have such a large footprint to be able to use and place them down, that finding the map with the flat enough surface for it to work properly is going to be an issue. You almost have to have a flat map in order to be able to use some of these. And specifically ones I'm talking about, like the animal pens and cows. Let's see, is it this one? Yes. Like, look at this. Like, this is a massive, massive building with a pretty decent sized structure, and it's really kind of odd shape, because it's got the kind of elongated barn going kind of left to right, and then that little peak going to the up and down kind of thing. And then it's got the fenced in area for the cows. Like, that is just a really odd shape, and you've got the ramp on the backside going into the loft. I think this has a built-in hay storage as well, but it is just a massive, massive structure, and it makes it really, really difficult. And like I said, I would love to use it somewhere, but one day I will use it, and I will find a map that'll allow me to do it. But right now is just not the time. All right, so let's get this all... Yes, what was it? Is it BR 163? I think it's BR 163, or BS, maybe BS 160. It's some kind of couple of letters and then the one. Yes, that is a really good map. I do like that one. One map that I fell in love with when I first saw it, when it first came out, was the Green Valley. And that's when I wanted to play on that particular, or a Zero Edo map really, really badly. But the problem is the music, all the kind of copywritten stuff that's in the background. And the map that Mr. Sealy P picked, Frontier, is 100 times worse than any of the maps before, because as far as I'm aware, it was only the the shops. It was only the shop that played music, and it was specifically like a little AM/FM radio that was just, sitting on a counter somewhere, that if you got too close to it, you'd be able to hear it kind of playing in the background kind of thing. Well, on Frontier, there's music in random places all throughout the map. So I'm like I said, he is a braver individual than I am, because it's one of those that, like, I understand that if you get a copyright notice, that you could potentially just go through and remove that section of the video that is, in violation kind of thing. But I don't know if that continues on for like an actual strike or anything like that. And honestly, it's something that I don't want to have to find out. If I can avoid it, I'll do it, kind of thing. Which is why I tend to just mind my P's and Q's. I try and be mindful of what's considered copyright material and whatnot, what's also considered transformative in nature, because there is a portion of fair use that falls under certain things. But audio is a little bit different. Like, music is a little bit different, that you don't necessarily get the same leeway of transformative in nature as you do with audio, as you do with like video and like actual content, visual content kind of thing. So just one of those that at the end of the day, I'll, like I said, I'll be a good boy. But let's see. Now I done did it. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get the chat to come back, and for some reason, there it goes. There we go. Some reason I went to move something around on my desktop, and then all of a sudden the entire chat just disappeared. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, it's very interesting going from just a casual player of Farming Simulator and making that jump to creating content, because now there's so many. Oh, there's somebody blocked. Why are they blocked? Nope, wrong way. Oh, it's because they're blocked. Let's see. So it's that field there. Come on. There we go. Excuse me, where are you going? What are you doing? Hey, stop. Stop what you're doing. Okay. Always forget just how tiny the Rosselmash and the Deutzfahr harvesters are. And it's one of those things, like, I'd probably slap myself if I were to see these, like, harvesters in real life and be like, oh, like, standing beside them, they're actually, like, giant compared to, like, me. But then you compare them to, like, the big John Deeres or the, what is it, the Fendt, what is it, the X9 or X8, those big pieces of equipment, you compare the two, and it's like these things are babies compared to those. So yeah, it's one of those. I forget how small these are in relation to other sets of equipment. Wow, this is an intense field right here. So a lot of these fields are like the first time I've ever actually done anything to them. So kind of seeing them for the first time, and kind of getting a layout of how everything looks like that. Wow, that's an intense hill right there. Look at that. Yeah, see, this is partially why I chose this map, was the undulations and the kind of topography that is, this map. It just offers that kind of dynamic, um, that kind of dynamic gameplay experience. And what I mean by that is, you could, potentially go with a really small harvester to harvest this field, but then you have to remember, if you go with one of the smaller ones, you might not be able to get up and down those hills. You might need a little bit extra oomph in order to get up and down them, and you might need, by saying that, you might need a larger harvester that has more horsepower, but still having a smaller header, so your horsepower isn't getting absorbed by the header, kind of thing. So it's one of those that you kind of have to pay attention to things like that when you play on maps like this. And I just smacked my computer. Black River, yes, that is a really really good map. So again, another feature on Zero Ujito's maps that I really really like are the bridges, the little uh, wood bridges that are on several of the maps there, and how they actually have boards, like loose boards that are just sitting across the bridge, kind of thing, and that once you drive over them, it actually, like, you're actually interacting with loose boards that'll fall into the river or fall into, it's just little things, it's just silly little things like that just really makes a map, those key little details. I was doing a map tour, and I think it might have been on the Green Valley, and I started to go into the overhead menu mode, like the build menu, and kind of checking things out from that kind of eagle eye view. And I realized that at the top of one of the towers that was in the town there, it was like an old, like, smokestack kind of thing. There was a giant fan, and the fan was actually sitting there rotating. Now, had I not gone into the build menu and whatnot, I would never have even known that was there. Would have never even guessed that it was there, kind of thing. Because it's not like I'm going to climb up the side of a tower to be able to just see what's inside the tower, kind of thing. It's one of those that I only noticed it on an off chance, kind of thing. And most people would never even realize it was there. Most people would have been, like, oblivious, just as I was. It just so happened I stumbled across it, kind of thing. And it's details like that, it's little things like that, where, if a map maker puts them in, yes, it might increase the megabyte size, yes, it might increase, for us console players, it might increase the slot counts and things like that, but at the end of the day, to a certain extent, it's worth it. Now, for megabyte count and stuff like that, for file sizes, I'm far more forgiving on that. But for slot counts, I'm a little less forgiving, especially because there's still, players out there who play on the older generation consoles, where they get half of the amount of slot counts as, somebody on a new generation console. So there was a map that just came out recently, and it was actually only available for the new generation consoles. It actually got released on all consoles originally, and then, like, the next day it was updated to remove from the previous generation consoles, and it was because there was so many things loaded onto the map that made the slot counts, I think it was like 28 or 2900 for the slot counts, so the new gen consoles could handle it. Old gens couldn't. So it was one of those, like, it was a gorgeous map, and it was a really good one. I forget what it was off the top of my head. Um, by a map maker I'm not too terribly familiar with, but because of all the slots on there, on that particular map being used up, and it was slots that are being used up by things that were just hiding. The other farms will have certain sets of equipment that are just sitting there, and instead of having them stylized in the background kind of thing, they're actually using real models, and those real models are taking up slot count for you kind of thing. So to a certain extent, I absolutely love those kind of key details, and especially the real models will allow you to have a more clear, better product in the end, quote unquote. But at the same time, you know, you want to be able to have as many people play on the map as possible to enjoy it. But like I said, it's one of those that it is what it is. You know, in the end, like I always say, I'm always grateful and appreciative to every single map maker, no matter what they do with their map. In the end, they're the artist. I'm not, and I'm just some guy on the internet who's gonna sit there and give their opinion, even if nobody asks for it, kind of thing. So, man, I tell you what, I really like this field. I'm really kind of falling in love with this map. Like, I really found this map interesting, and I remember doing a map tour for it a long time ago. And I think Crimea River, it was you who pointed out that I had done a map tour, and then the updates came out, and the updates really changed a lot of stuff. And I still haven't gotten a chance to go check out my old map tour, just kind of see all those like differences kind of thing. But I really need to check it out, because it sounds like it's almost to the same degree as a map like Lands of La Mancha went through. That map, Lands of La Mancha, had like I don't want to say it was necessarily, all right, this the word's going to be too harsh, but for lack of a better one, lame. It was very boring starting farm, because it was just a farmhouse and a storage shed. That's it. Minimal's a much better word than lame. There we go. That's a word I'm more happy to use. But Lands of La Mancha, when it first started out, all you had was the farmhouse and the like shed. That's it. You didn't have a silo, you didn't have animals, you didn't have nothing. And I did a Let's Play series, actually my very first Let's Play series, way back in the day, and that was when I was really kind of, really limping along with how I did the tours, or not the tours, but the just the recording aspect of YouTube. I used to have to stream to Twitch and use Twitch to be the kind of capture device, and then I would download the stuff from Twitch, and after downloading Twitch, I'd then make my edits and all sorts of stuff. And it was such a real pain to be able to do it, because you're relying on a third party to capture. Did I not set the worker? Oh, I guess I did. Oops. But because you're relying on like a third party to capture your material like that, if you had like some kind of connection issue or anything like that, like you'd hear like my audio just drop at random kind of thing. Like I'd be talking and all of a sudden it'd be just nothing but silence, and then I'd cut back in, completely in, mid-sentence kind of thing. And it was always really annoying, because then I would get comments from people saying, hey, your audio cut out, and it would bug me. It's like, man, I really want this to be better, but at the time I couldn't afford to just dump money into a capture card or anything like that. And I was a much smaller channel than what I am now. So I'm far and away leaps and bounds bigger than what I used to be. And um, especially in those days. In those days, I had maybe a dozen subscribers. Now we're almost up to 700. 700 subscribers. Holy cow! I can't believe the like looking back. It's not even been a year um, since this channel started. This channel I think started back in September of uh, of last year of 2022, and in less than a year we're up to almost 700 subscribers and still going strong. Still going strong. And it's it's because, like I said, I'm going to say it again, it's because of people like you who are following along with the channel and keeping up and showing your support in any way that you can. you know it's amazing. It's an amazing thing, and so happy that that the channel is doing as well as it's doing, and is still growing the way that it is. Thank you all so much. Thank everybody for subscribing, following along, and doing everything that you can to just being a part of the channel and being part of the community. It's just awesome. Let's see. Yes, he puts a ton of work into his maps. It is just amazing. It'd be one of those things I would love to meet with these people, like actually, like face to face. Like any map maker, I would love to be able to meet with them face to face and be able to actually see what it is that they have to do to be able to make their maps. Um, it, I am not computer illiterate. Like I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to computers and whatnot. Um, but they're like, I'm not an artist. I've said this numerous times. I'm not creative in the fact of like actually visual kind of things. I can take things that I see and kind of recreate them. I do a fair bit of woodworking as kind of a personal hobby kind of thing. And if somebody shows me like a table kind of thing, I can then deconstruct what was done to that table and reconstruct it from scratch kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that I can do. But what I can't do is, or at least I have a very, very hard time with doing, is taking something from scratch with no understanding or knowledge of how it's going to look in the end, and then kind of make it my own kind of thing. That's what I lack, is that kind of artistic eye that others are gifted with. And I would just love to be able to see like how somebody starts with nothing and then builds it up into like this, the Hills of Tuscany, or builds it up to any other map out there, American Falls. Like, it'd be amazing to kind of sit down with Lancey Boy and just kind of understand how like the process worked. Let's see. Yes, this is a map. Yes. But I'm also a very like inquisitive person. I always try to ask questions and try to figure things out. I'm very unsatisfied with you know not knowing like the nuts and bolts of a thing. Like, one of my favorite television shows is the show How It Works, on Discovery Channel. That's one of my favorite shows, because it kind of gives you like the behind the scenes of how things are made and how things are done. From just everyday ordinary items that we use. It just shows you how it's done. And the machinery, the technology that's used to be able to do that is just incredible. Just incredible. Let's see, so this is field 28. I need to take this where? Farmer's Market. Okay, I know where that's at. Let's see. So we're gonna go in here. Ooh, this is a little messy. When you get two trailers like this little Massey just struggles. Let's see. Turn here. Alright, so it's on the back side of this kind of construction area, this little placeable area here, so I know how to get to point A to point B. I'm actually, you know what? I'm rather curious. Let's see how well this map does with actually delivering things. Why not? Let's see, deliver, farmer's market, and we will put in looping. Let's see, where am I? There I am. So we'll have them come back to here. Okay, this will give me a chance to go check out on everything else. Oh, are they all done with this whole field? Oh, they are. Okay. Yeah, see, even this field is really, like, really wavy, and it's got a good amount of undulations to it. Like, this is the kind of map that I hold in very high regard in my whole selection process. You know, does it have things that's gonna, you know, draw the eye, that's going to have those little extra details that are gonna be able to just be more than just the average ordinary, you know, map. You know, probably a good comparison is if a map looks like something that I could have made from scratch kind of thing, then it's probably not a map that I would be wanting to play. And what I mean by that is, like I said, I don't hold myself in high regard as like the whole artistic characteristics. You know, like I said, I can copy, but I can't create, kind of thing. So it's one of those that if it looks like something that I made, kind of thing, then it's probably not something I'm going to be satisfied in the long term with playing, kind of thing. I knew there was just a little chunk around here. Let me take a look at this field just real quick, make sure everything's all cleared off. I think we're up here. Yes. So, boop, boop. Yep, everything's good. And then this is field 13. Where is this going? Resale. What was that? Resale cereals. Okay. Whew. 1 liter. Whew. So let's see. So we got 15,490. So that means we're going to keep about 1,500. So, oh, the resale sales or cereals is right over here. Let's see. If I go this way, so I can go up here, up and around. But if I go this way, this takes me over to this factory here. Oh no, that takes me out of the way. Yeah, I want to go right. So one thing that does annoy me with certain maps is the road network not being very clearly defined. And like I was mentioning earlier, there's a map that I did a tour on here recently where it was impossible to see any of the roads other than the main kind of highway. And it was a map that I can't remember exactly where it was supposed to take place, but it had 3 pre-built pastures on the field. Oh, you know, it was the map by Alberto. Oh goodness, what was that one called? I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, the road network for any of the back roads, virtually impossible to be able to see on the map itself. And it drives me nuts when those are not like very well defined on a map, because it makes it so incredibly difficult to navigate. And especially for somebody like me who's doing, you know, map tours where I'm having to show people, you know, the map itself, how it looks, where things are, kind of thing. It just makes that kind of one more step, uh, one more layer difficult on myself. You know, again, I greatly appreciative to Alberto and making the map itself. It's just one of those things that, you know, is a annoyance. And I'm sure it's annoying to a lot of players too. You know, I can't be the only one who would, you know, be frustrated by not being able to know where the road networks are. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pull out here. Alright, so from here, I'm going to drive this back to the farm. Yeah, see, everywhere you look on this map, there's always something interesting to look at besides the game itself. And what I mean by that is you got this beautiful lake over in this direction. You've got this really cool kind of apartments that lead up to the church that overlooks your entire farm. You've got this kind of entryway into the dairy. Like, all this is just so unique looking, and I'm gonna go in this direction just so I can see this kind of driveway right here. Like, I don't know if these are like apartments or if they're I don't know what would be the equivalent to a townhouse in Italy kind of thing. But I mean, it's just this little winding driveway that leads past all these little houses, you know, and then the church right there. You can kind of hear the bells ringing in the background. And you've got the, you know, it overlooking the entire farm right here. Like, just absolutely stunning. And then the layout of the farm itself is just top tier, in my opinion. I really like it. You've got everything is just custom. You know what? That's another thing that I really look out for in my maps that I tend to play is, did the map maker go through the effort to put something other than stock? And what I mean by that is, there are all the production points we're very familiar with, especially the ones from Giants. What kind of, I'm not going to say it bugs me, but one thing that I kind of look out for when it comes to my maps that I want to play is, did the map maker go out of their way to kind of tweak the production points and make them their own, make it something unique to the map? And they don't necessarily have to be from scratch kind of thing, you know, but did they make the effort to... Oh. I did not see that they failed on that. Oh, it's because they got hung up on the... Whoa. Yeah. Okay, so that's not going to be an option. Or you know what? It's probably an option if I didn't have the tandem trailers. Yeah, I could see that have worked if I didn't have the tandem trailers, but because of the tandem trailers were there, they got hooked on... They basically crept too far ahead. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh dear, now I lost it. I got distracted with this. Oh, well, that's just not gonna work. Let's just get over there. Let's see. Jody, this game helps me out so much. My depression and exciting. Yeah, you'd mentioned that before, how this helps with your depression, and that's fantastic. It's did I did I oh my goodness, I'm batting 1,000 tonight, y'all. Just completely not paying attention where I'm going. What you know what it is too is I'm just not familiar with the layout of the map just yet, so I don't exactly know where I'm going. So that doesn't help. I mean, when it came to the Valley Old Farm, I was very familiar with the road networks, where to go, what field was where, and I was very much able to kind of keep up with everything. Now I'm kind of having to learn everything from scratch. That's why during the recording, that the actual edited content for the episodes, that's why you'll see kind of the menus are still up, the buttons or the icons are still available, kind of thing. It's because I'm still trying to learn where everything is, and typically about anywhere from 3 to 6 episodes in is when I start getting comfortable enough to where I'll be able to uh, turn everything off and know roughly where everything is. Now that's something else I've noticed about this map too, is it's got some weird traffic. Like you can see that one right there, how the car just kind of it's spazzes out. And there's one other map that I'm aware of that I've seen that happen before, and it was a map by Gwendol called Newlands. I'd done a series on that one as well, and again, another fantastic map and another fantastic map maker. Um, Newlands, I really enjoyed that one, and I'm really bummed out and disappointed that all the updates to that map came after I made that series. Um, so much stuff was done. Like if you look at the series that I made and look at the the way the map looks now, it is night and day difference. Like it's got the same network, same kind of feel, but there's so much new stuff added that just completely takes it to a whole nother level. Just fantastic. And I believe Crimea River, you were in the middle of going through that series, so you can attest to just how different my Let's Play series looks compared to the map, and how it looks in its current state. Let's see, we'll do that. I don't think I'll need both trailers for this trip. But no, that's I was saying, and I kind of trailed off there. I apologize. I was starting to say, it's fantastic that that this game helps with the depression, and you know get you excited. It's depression's something that I've never had to battle through, but it's amazing that you can find something to help in any way. So the fact that you have this as a outlet is a great thing. So really glad to hear that. Really am. Uh, the sales points was terrible on that map too. Yes, it's the way that the whole traffic spline delivery system, all this stuff works. Like, it's an amazing concept. Like, being able to set it up to where you can have your workers drive on their own from point A to point B, being able to follow like the custom routes of the map, all that stuff. It's fantastic. It's a really good idea, but it really needs improvement. It really needs something done to be able to really kind of polish it up, because right now there's too many factors involved that makes it to where it's unreliable and not adequate for the job itself, for the job that it's intended to do. Which is, again, it's a real shame, because it would be such an amazing thing to be able to just be able to rely on the workers, be able to let them kind of do their thing. And it's just the whole worker network, or the worker concept, is needing to kind of be revised, kind of thing, because you got issues with, workers on the fields, not doing everything that they're supposed to do that you intend for them to do. You know, it's one of those that I understand there's limitations. There's only so much that any kind of system can do, kind of thing. But I would love to see Giants in the background, kind of, for what is it, like FS25 or whatever the next iteration of this game is going to be. I would love for them to really dive deep into the whole traffic system and being able to make it to where, this is kind of like a well-oiled machine, to where we're not having to worry about, finding a worker 3 fields away because reasons, or finding that a delivery got messed up because the worker didn't know to go back to the road, kind of thing. Like what happened there, they pulled so far ahead that they were running into a building. Be able to recognize that that building is there. And again, I understand there's going to be limits, that there's only going to be so much that people can do, especially because of how dynamic this game is, that each map has its own traffic supply network, has its own AI network. Each field is laid out different, that it's going to cause that kind of pain point that that system's already going to have, kind of thing. So it's one of those that I don't even know if there's any improvement to be done, kind of thing. If there's any room for improvement, But if there is, I would love to kind of see it. But let's see. So yeah, again, we're gonna take all this. Ooh, that just occurred to me. So wheat opens the door to chickens. So that's cool. It just dawned on me there. And I actually need to double check on this map, because I don't remember if this is one of the maps that requires like custom feed types for specific animals. I'm just not sure. One of those I'll have to do a bit more research, figure it out later. Alright, now let's see if I've got... Oh, these swivel axle trailers, I tell you what. They are super convenient when you're driving forwards. But you need to go backwards. It can be just an absolute nightmare. What all do I have in here? Well, not a lot, but... yeah. Slowly but surely building up the warehouse. Slowly but surely. Park this over here. And then... alright, so we got a couple of little straggly bits. Oh, hey, turn signal. Come on, little Zador, you can do it. I think you can, I think you can, I think you can. Oof, it's a struggling. There we go. So this one, where's this one? So this was 50, was this 58? Yes, 58. So 58 is going where? Resale. Okay, perfect. So that's, again, right down the street. That works out nicely. There we go. Alright, well, we're all full up, so we gotta go take this over. But no, now, Jody, you got me thinking about, all the different maps that are out there and all the kind of, different things I look for in a maps. And, it's one of those that it's almost hard to explain, but it's one of those when you see it, you know it kind of feelings that I get. Um, which is kind of how I drive the whole grading system. At the end of the tours, is the the kind of feeling that I get as I do the tour itself, and the feeling that I get as I kind of explore the map for the tours, kind of thing. So it's one of those like, am I like am I seeing things that are actually like visually stunning? Am I seeing things that are, you know, kind of interesting? Uh, Other things I look out for are additional features on the map. So if a map has like additional products, like a good example here lately, Poor Boy has made several maps where there's additional production points, additional product types, and the whole 9 yards, where uh, it really kind of increases the playability and the uh, not necessarily longevity, but the depth that's in the game. So to where Zero Ito is a map maker who focuses a lot on details, Poor Boy focuses on the kind of gameplay aspect in their maps. Now, don't get me wrong, there are details in Poor Boy's maps, but not to the same degree, in my opinion. And they have, especially here lately, have really focused on like the production chain aspects, the various different types of products that can be available to a map, um, and just really kind of have really kind of leaned in hard on that. As, oh, I could have taken the shortcut, apparently. Jeez. Gotta love it. Got to love it. But but yeah, like I was saying, the oh yeah, they're missing a fair bit. Gonna have to go back and grab those. Oh well. Oh hey, no, don't back up, don't ah. Huh. Okay. Apparently I was in their blind spot. Okay. There we go. But yeah, what are some other map makers out there that, and don't get me wrong, I love Poor Boy's maps. Like what was one they put out here recently? Man, this thing is really missing a lot. What is going on here? There was a one map that, if I remember right, dedicated to his son. Um, that one I really like. There's another one that was more recent, that Poor Boy put out, that I really liked, and I think it was in collaboration with somebody else. Um, oh, another map maker that I've been really liking a lot here lately? Yogi. Yogi is another map maker that I've really been enjoying a lot of the maps that they put out here. Um, I'm trying to remember specifically. There was the dedication map to, was it Frankie J? Uh, I can't remember the person they dedicated it to, but there was that one that was a really nice map. It was a recreation of a map that we've had in years past. That was the person who passed. Um, but there's another map that I really like by them. Um, let's see. I'm trying to find it as we speak. Galgenberg. Galgenberg was another map that I really enjoyed. Um, And like when I did the tour on that one originally, the original map tour, that one uh, I was kind of mixed on how I kind of took that one. So the reason that I say that is this game is intended to be a game, and I understand that there's a lot of things that are brought in from real life. There's different like equipment and all this stuff, but there was a point in that map's life where there was actual like protests. I know there was a thing where over in Europe there was a lot of protests going on because of the farmers uh, basically being cut off from being able to use a lot of the fertilizers that were necessary to grow crops. I think it was the European Union that basically said, nope, we're not using those anymore. It's too bad, so sad, kind of aspect, and it was all because of environmentalism and stuff like that. Was what they were claiming. And in the map originally was on the periphery, on the road that was going off the map, there were farm equipment with a bunch of protest signs and whatnot. And I was kind of mixed about how I felt about that, because it's one of those, like, I appreciate that this game is kind of a real life representation of life and the various equipment and all that stuff, but that kind of stuff is almost too real kind of thing. Like, I'm playing this to kind of escape, the not escape reality, but just kind of decompress and unwind kind of thing. And I don't know if I was really okay with the fact of there being that kind of reminder of, hey, this is happening in real life kind of thing. Another example, another map that I really really like, but another thing that I really didn't care for personally was on Calmsden's Farm. On Calmsden's Farm, there's the signs that are all around the map, and it's the make sure you wear your mask before going into the stores kind of thing that were posted all over the place. And again, it's just one of those, like, too part of reality kind of thing, and not really offering that kind of escapism that is, expected from a video game kind of thing. So it was one of those kind of you know not really digging it, but because there's so much going on for the map and so much that is offered, it's one of those I can overlook it. And it's the same kind of thing I had with Calmsden Farm, and why I liked it so much is there was enough that kind of overpowered that kind of jolt of reality kind of thing. Piney Run, yes, Piney Run is the map I was thinking of, that was dedicated to Poor Boy's son. Yeah, I really like that map. I think that's a really good example of a forestry map, and I also like how they make it to where, and I think they were kind of one of the first that did it for FS22, and I could be wrong about that, but it's not like a pure forestry in the fact of all you have is forest. Like a is it Wilhelmina, or no, Homolcra. That's another map that I like, but that one's like pure forestry. You're only doing forestry, and the only time you're going to do any kind of arables or anything other than forestry is when you clear out the forest and put it in yourself, kind of thing. Like I said, I'm not terribly creative, so I have a very difficult time in kind of doing those forestry maps, because once I clear out the land, I then have to kind of build up the land from there, and it's difficult for me. So, and it's not that I'm opposed to doing difficult things or anything like that. It's just when I'm doing things like for YouTube and whatnot, I don't want things to look, aesthetically unappealing, because it's one of those that I guess is easy fodder for people who aren't necessarily as invested in the channel. And you know, I want to put forth a good product, you know, kind of thing. So I don't know, maybe it's just kind of a shortcoming of mine, you know, kind of thing that I need to just kind of get over, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those that I might might be just kind of overthinking things. Who knows? Who knows? But let's see. Let's get this all cleaned up and taken care of, because we've got all this straggly bits. You know, there is one flat map that I really do enjoy, um, and I think it's kind of more. It's the. Oh no, I don't even want to say that. There's a lot of key features on the map too that I do enjoy, but it's a map by Alien Jim called Western Wilds. That map I really enjoy, and a lot of that is because of the other additional features that are available on that map. Um, the goldsmithing and not goldsmithing, gold smelting. Uh, that's a part of it. There's other productions that are part of it, and it being a mainly forestry map, it's or actually it's not even mainly. It is a forestry map. Um, it having kind of those additional features, you know, allows it to be a little bit easier to manage. You know, having the kind of farm that's right there in the kind of dead center of the map that you can eventually buy and uh, turn it into your own kind of thing. You construct everything that's there. You actually have to pay to deconstruct it and then build up the way that you want it, or however. I remember watching Mr. Sealy P. This was long before I was doing YouTube. He did a series on the Western Wild, and that series included him like building a like farmhouse from scratch. And he actually put it on this little plateau that he built himself, and it's like, oh man, I could only imagine doing something like that, and just how in my mind it would look terrible. And it might, you know, to other people it might be, oh man, that's amazing, you did a really good job or whatever. But I don't know, I have a real hard time with not being too critical on myself. Sometimes it's good to mix it up. You know, you're absolutely right about that. It's really good to get out of your comfort zone, which is something that I've been trying to do more and more here lately with myself. Doing things that I'm not necessarily, you know, good at or whatnot, because in the end, you know, I through practice I'm going to get better, kind of thing. You know, the whole practice makes perfect kind of thing. Well, in my case, it might not make perfect, but it'll make better, kind of thing. So I don't know. One of these. Maybe one of these series I'll do a pure forestry one. Like, you know, starting with a forestry. Like, I know Mr. Sealy P did a series on Homokra a while back, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed watching it. And there is a lot of mods nowadays, and the Platinum Edition DLC that makes forestry so much easier nowadays. You know, the auto targeting system for the Platinum Edition is, I think, probably one of the greatest features that they added, and made forestry very much accessible to everybody on Farming Simulator 22. Because that's one of the cool things of like PC gaming as opposed to like console gaming, is they have like the auto load trailers for the wood. And now we have auto-loading containers, which is really cool. And you've got the sell points that you can add to maps that don't have a container buy point, kind of thing. So it's one of those, like, it being more accessible is very nice, and not only that, but then you've got kind of hacks and workarounds to do forestry right now for console, which is really nice. There's a container mod where you can like cut down a tree, and before it even hits the ground, you can click on it, and it basically is a production point, a mobile production point, and you can take the production of wood. It basically just absorbs the wood into the production, and then you can sell it off, or you can move it to some other place that accepts wood. So if you have like a sawmill or whatnot, you can just quickly quickly do the work and be done, kind of thing. So if forestry and transporting and loading and doing all that stuff isn't your thing, then that's certainly an option. Like I said, it's nice that we now have things that kind of make a quote unquote tedious task like forestry, because of how finicky some of the equipment can be. And I think that's honestly what makes it so quote unquote inaccessible to a lot of people, is how finicky like the grapples are, and the various bits of machinery that is out there. um, because not everyone is super precise, or is good with the controller layout and all that stuff. And again, I've mentioned him several times today, Mr. Sealy P. There's plenty of examples of him walking through with this latest series on Valley Springs with his wife. Somebody who's not very familiar with the game, familiar with the controller layout. I guarantee that if he tried to get her into a wood harvester, that her mind would melt. And again, no disrespect. Everybody started somewhere, kind of thing. So it's one of those, like, I could only imagine being only there's 6 or 7 episodes into that series. If she's only played for that amount of time for that, and then her just trying to do a wood harvester, I can only imagine how difficult that would be. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't borrow the equipment. Oh, you know what? I have a harvester of my own. Oh, but it's all the way down in 26. Oof. Oof. Well, where's my harvester? See, this is how much I'm still learning. Like, I'm still trying to remember where all my equipment is. Oh, hey, there's a wall there. Silver Run was a really good map. I really enjoyed that, and I'm a little critical of Giants maps, and the reason that is oftentimes I find that Giants and their maps are, they have a lot of area that you cannot purchase. And that's also another disqualifier for me personally, is if there's a good chunk of the map that you cannot buy, then there's a good chunk of the area that's just, you can't do anything with. And there's sometimes with certain maps, Elm Creek is a perfect example, where there's an area that would be perfect for building up and doing stuff with, but you can't buy it to be able to do anything with it. And there's an area at Elm Creek over on the west side of the map where there's a bunch of buildings and stuff. And I remember kind of playing it when the game first came out, and I got really, really deep and far into that map when it first came out, the whole game itself. And I wanted to buy a specific area, this area that I'm referring to in particular, and there was nothing that I could do about, building up that area. And I wanted to add like a production point. It was just some kind of production to be able to make it a little bit more usable, that specific area. And it was a complete disappointment that I couldn't actually buy it to place down and whatnot. So that's something else I look for when it comes to maps themselves, is am I able to uh, buy, if not all the map, a majority of the map, to where I can, kind of make the map my own, kind of thing. I don't necessarily have to purchase the entire map, but if there's an area that I can work and make better, I want to be able to do that. And especially if there's like a built up area where like adding a production or adding a building kind of makes sense and really kind of ties into that map's kind of general vibe. Like that's like the most satisfying thing to me, is when you can almost seamlessly add a building, a production point, whatever, and it be able to really tie into like the area. So like a good example is on the last series, the Valley of the Old Farm. Me being able to take the grain mill and delete the old grain mill and put in the new grain mill, the one where I was able to produce the pig food, the chaff, and all that stuff. My being able to do that to where I was able to delete everything and add the new one in the same exact location, like that really made me happy to be able to do that, because I'm able to really kind of tie in the original look and feel of the map without really distorting and making it too different or too off to me, like visually, kind of thing. So one of those that but you know what, now I'm thinking about it, I also did the series on Silver Run too, and really didn't have a lot of issues with Silver Run in regards to like building it up and making it my own kind of thing, but again, there was a lot of area on that map that you can buy, kind of thing, so it's less of an issue on Silver Run. So I realize I've been talking for what, almost going on what, about an hour and a half now, since 9:30. So yeah, almost 2 hours now, and realized that I'm getting a little parched, so I had to take a drink there for a second. Oh goodness. But no, let me go ahead and shout out one more time the members, Crimea River and Mark K. Thank you all so much. And Crimea River, thank you again so much for the 20 that you threw earlier. Greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it's one of those that like I said, I greatly appreciate all of you, that's able to not only contribute to the channel, but to just sit there and watch and have fun, to engage. This experience, becoming a YouTuber and doing this, has been such an amazing experience. Something I never even thought of when starting this, was the whole community creation aspect of actually creating this space that we could all come together and have fun and just really kind of build something. Like a good example, one thing that I'm working on in the background is channel merchandise. I want to be able to produce something that isn't just how do I want to say this? I greatly appreciate the $20 that you sent today and previous. I greatly appreciate that, and I don't want to understate that gratitude that I have for that. But I want to be able to produce something for that contribution. And I feel that creating something like merchandise, something that you can actually have that's tangible, other than, you know, just a thank you, you know, for my gratitude. I want to be able to not only show the gratitude, but to have actually something out there that is, you know, in that's tangible and in the world kind of thing. So that's something I've been kicking around, something I've been working on in the background. I need to figure out where I can unload. Oh, there's a grass field right there. But yeah, it would be you know, things that you know are very unique to this channel, like the wiggle bottoms, you know, wiggle bottom tractors, you know, just random things like that. And I don't know what or I don't even know if it's even going to be like possible kind of thing. Because again, I'm not an artist. I've been reaching out to certain people trying to figure out, you know, what is necessary in order to do it, kind of thing. It's just something that would be awesome for the channel to grow into. But like I said, I want to be able to make sure that I'm adding value to what's being contributed, and I feel that that might be a good way to do it, kind of thing. But again, like I said, it's one of those that greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate everybody who's joined us tonight, who's participated in the chat and the whole 9 yards. You know, it's funny how life goes sometimes. You know, like I've mentioned before, there are times when I get very introspective and try to, you know, try to get into the deeper thoughts kind of thing, you know, about life, and, you know, not necessarily about meaning or, you know, that deep kind of thing, not like the whole philosophical level of things, but kind of, you know, think about where life is, how life has gotten me to where I am today, and, you know, all those kind of bumps and twists and turns, and, you know, all those things that have added up to where I am, you know, today, kind of thing. And it's just amazing and how, with the right amount of effort, with the right amount of, you know, luck, that you can really kind of do something, you know, that you can be deeply satisfied with, and it take you to places that you never even knew that you wanted. Like I didn't even realize that this was something that I'd really kind of want in my life, is doing the YouTube and being a part of a community like this. But the more that I do it, the more that I fall deeper and deeper in love with it, and really just enjoy and appreciate everything that has come up into this point. So it's just, like I said, I always try to kind of sit back and really kind of, you know, reevaluate, you know, where I'm at and what's kind of led me to the path that I'm at currently. And I was thinking about it here recently, you know, in regards to the channel and whatnot. And like I said, and I mentioned on these live streams several times, where I've started to where I am now. Like I said, almost having, you know, 700 subscribers. You know, I might be talking like that's 7 million, but, it's a vast difference, a huge difference from where I was back in September, and it's just crazy to me, to think of where it all started and where we're at now and where I would love for this channel to be in the future. And I know that, with, kind and generous people like Crimea River, like Jody, Dust Bunny, like everybody out there who's, always in the comments, just chatting it up, having a good time. I know that with people like you and finding more people out there like yourselves, this is going to be, a great place now and into the future, kind of thing. And I really look forward to seeing where we get to, kind of thing. It's funny. My wife, she will, she'll ask me sometimes, hey, what time did you come to bed last night? And I'll tell her, oh, I came to bed at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I either have to get up with the baby when she wakes up, or I've got to, wake up for work or whatnot. And, so there are times where I get maybe 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, and I'm doing that pretty consistently, kind of thing. But I'm having so much fun that it doesn't bother me, kind of thing. It doesn't faze me to, get that, lack of sleep, because we're working towards something, we're building something, and at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just excited to see where it takes us, where we get to, so. And I hope you all are excited too. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm, I'm excited to see where we're going, but my excitement means nothing in the long run if nobody else is excited with me. So, like I said, I hope you all are excited. It's gonna be a long road. I have no doubts that, this is a multi-month, multi-year, multi-decade project kind of thing. This is not something that is just gonna, explode overnight. I don't expect it to. I don't expect to be, some kind of, gamer phenom that, is tens of millions of followers and all that stuff. But I'll be happy with whatever I get to. Whatever it is, and whatever this channel, grows into. At the end of the day, I'm excited. I hope you're excited, and I hope that y'all are not just here for me now, here for the channel, but here for the long haul. Because I know I am. I know I'm here for, I'm here for the months, the days, the years, kind of thing. And as long as there's Farming Simulator and whatever, 22, 25, 28, whatever, I'm going to be around. So I'm having too much fun. Having way too much fun hanging out with y'all and spending time with you, interacting throughout the days, throughout the nights. Good times. And something else I'm looking forward to as well is this particular series. Like I've been excited to start every single one of the series I've worked on, and it gets to a point with every series where eventually you kind of reach a tipping point where it's kind of, oh, see, why is that a thing? What is happening here? Huh. But it gets to a point with every series where eventually you get past that certain point where everything's starting to come easier because you've built up and built up and built up, and you eventually, you know, can just cash in a whole bunch of product, and then boom, you're good to go. You don't necessarily have to work as hard at building things as much as you are just maintaining things. But this map, what I'm so excited about for this is the aspect of there being multiple characters that are going to be involved throughout the whole series, and multiple farms that are going to be interacted with throughout the series. You know, we've got the, you know, the main farm here, and unfortunately I've got all these peripherals as well that just come standard, but then we've got the secondary farm here, you know, to where we're able to kind of interact and do things with their products. You know, looking forward to seeing how that kind of additional dynamic comes into play into the story and into just the gameplay itself. Ooh, hey, I'm sitting here yakking away and realizing that I don't have a trailer over here to unload this. Let's yeah, let's take the Valtra. Back this up. I think only one trailer's enough. I could grab that second one, but I think this will be okay. One thing I've noticed on this map, it's not necessarily quote-unquote an annoyance or anything, it's just something that is kind of there in the background, is deer are everywhere. They seem to spawn like a lot on this map, and they're always like in the weirdest of places, like right in the middle of the farm kind of thing. Like, it just, to me, that's a weird spot for them to be, because the entire farm is, you know, fenced off. Oh, hey, easy. Oh, yeah, see, I was sitting there talking too much, and now the grain tank's full. I like going in this direction. Kind of cut out the corners of the extra turns that are right there in the other side of that field there. There's like 2 extra turns over there, but if you come over here and you cut through the, I think it's the chocolate factory over here, and then make a right, you can kind of cut all that out. Nice little shortcut I found not too long ago. Alright, and then we'll turn here. I'm sure the owner and workers don't appreciate me using their facility as a drive-through, but if you don't tell them, I won't tell them. That's a facility I'm looking forward to getting eventually, is that olive. I don't know if it's necessarily like an olive cleaning or like olive processing, quote unquote. They have a grape processing one as well, but, well, which the in the story, the longtime friend, they own that processing, and it actually produces a couple of byproducts, which is really cool for this particular map. And it has to do with like the white grapes and normal grapes. It's like a pomace, I think is what they call it. It's like the husk of the grape after it's been pressed. I might be wrong about the actual term that they use, but I think that's what it's called. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see everything that's going to happen with this series. Yeah, I'm also really excited about too is the when it comes time to actually start working the grapes. I've only done one or two cycles of like grape work. Like I think I've only done one in a series, and I've done maybe two or three on my own through like before doing YouTube. And I'm excited to really like kind of get more in depth with it and kind of, exploring all the various bits of equipment that's out there and all the various techniques that can be done. One thing that I ended up downloading from the Mod Hub are a couple of uh, the packs that are dedicated to like grape harvesting. There we go. In particular, let's see, grape technology. Yeah, so we've got the Ferrand vineyard pack here. So we've got a bunch of various vineyard equipment here that can be used on grapes and whatnot. Then we've got over here the vineyard pack crossplay. This I'm looking forward to because this actually has in it a different type of harvester. It's like an actual tag along or tow along harvester, not one that's actually its own powered by its own self-propelled. That's the word. But then there's other bits of equipment. You got the sprayer here with the multi-row sprayer. You got the multi-row cutters and all this stuff. So it's just one of those that it's going to be a new process that I really haven't gone in depth with. So I'm again looking forward and excited. There's a lot to be excited about if you can't tell. Let's see. So a few more passes. We'll be done with this field. So I think it's just the three of us at the moment, and I'm rather curious if there was anything with the channel that you would like to see. What would you like? How do I want to word this? If there was an improvement out there with the channel that you would like to see, what kind of improvements would you to envision there being? Kind of give me your feedback. What do you think that could be done to either improve the channel, to make it better? Would something like merchandise that was centered around the channel, would that be anything that would interest either of you two, kind of thing? Like, it's one of those I'm definitely interested in any kind of feedback that I can get, because like I said, I always go by the mentality of good or bad feedback. I'm gonna take advantage of to try and do better, kind of thing. So if either of you have any suggestions, then feel free to let me know, because I'm genuinely curious. Let's see. It looks like this field's actually cleaning up rather nicely. Where am I? Oh, I'm down here. Boop, boop. Oh yeah, no little straggly bits. So I wonder if maybe the reason that those straggly bits are happening is because of the pitch of the field. I wonder if the more aggressive the terrain is, the harder time the AI worker has to stay in line. Maybe that's what's going on. Huh. Because you can see, like, I wasn't having any issues with the rest of the field, but there was that one bit that was way over there where it's really high pitched. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Got one more pass here. One more, maybe. Nope, looks like two. Let's go ahead and fire the worker real quick and go ahead and make these last couple passes myself. Perfect. There we go. Let's see. So we're heading to... Okay. So just at the end of the street, really. Alright, we'll dump this out. Alright. Now what did it... Oh, there it is. Right over there. I love that. I absolutely... That is probably one of the best and probably the most underrated improvements that Giants made from 19 to 22 is the auto-locking trailers. Like, that is such an amazing upgrade. I remember trying to use trailers way back in the day from FS19, and it was just a nightmare trying to get all those trailers to work and to do what you'd want them to do, for them to just travel down the road and not fall off into the middle of the road kind of thing. Like, there we go. What do you mean it's unreachable? You lying. Why you gotta lie to me like this? Oh, well. On the road again. Can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. You know, I could... You know what? I am. I'm gonna go this way. This might be a more direct route. Maybe. Blocked by what? What are you blocked by? Oh, now all the cars are gonna come. Hey, we did it. Now I can focus on the other trailer. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Come on, Valtra. Oh. Oh. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. So, I think it was my second series that I did. It was on the Lands of La Mancha. And there was a hill on Lands of La Mancha that was leading from the carpentry basically to the main shop. And this hill is by far one of the most aggressive hills I've come across in all of Farming Simulator. The pitch of it, the grade of it is so high that if you were loaded down with a weak tractor, fully loaded with material, you were not getting up this hill. That is how steep the hill was. And it was to the point to where if I was fully loaded down with product, that I would have to like take a different direction and go like the long way around. And unfortunately, there was so much like back roads and stuff. Like there was so much obstructions, and there was very defined ways that you could go. Like you cannot drive on that like cross country, quote unquote. Like you can't just cut through fields because there's a river right in the middle of the map that really dissects the map. And then so oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I heard music, and I'm like, no. No, no, no. No. So I don't know if anybody out there is going to get this reference I'm getting ready to make, but sometimes I can be a pretty big nerd. Specifically in regards to anime. There are certain animes that I do enjoy, and one of them is Dragon Ball Z. Well, on YouTube they made a remake, quote unquote, of Dragon Ball Z called Dragon Ball Abridged, and it is absolutely hilarious. One of the funniest things on the internet, in my opinion. And for those who are a fan of the series, can go and watch this and just laugh hysterically. But what's great about the abridged is that somebody like my wife, who's never been a fan of anime whatsoever, I got her to sit down and watch it, and she thought it was hysterical. Just absolutely just laughing her butt off constantly. And there's one scene in particular where one of the main characters is getting talked to, and he doesn't like what he's hearing. So all of a sudden he starts saying, no, 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 no. Like he's just repeating it over and over and over again, and he's getting more and more frustrated saying it. So I've noticed that every once in a while I'll bust that out, not even realizing that I did it, kind of thing, until like a few moments later. Then it's like, oh, I made a reference and didn't even probably most people here didn't even catch it or wouldn't even be aware of it. But if at all interested, give them a check out, because it is absolutely hilarious. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's No, 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 no. Come on, come on. Oh dear. Oh dear. Of course. Of course. What are you doing? Oh, okay. We should be able to make it now. Haha! I did it! I did a thing. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and park all the equipment. We're going to unload the one trailer. I think it had like 800 liters or something. Something small. Alright. And we'll park this over here. Perfect. $809 liters of, was it treticle? Treticle? Not 100% sure how to pronounce it. Oh. There we go. Tritical. Perfect. Well, don't have a ton of product just yet, but we keep working at it. We'll get there. Perfect. Now we're just going to put all this stuff away and... Oh, you know what? Probably be a good thing to collect the contract too while we're at it. There we go. 1,500. Not a whole heck of a lot, but it's better than, I don't know, swift kick to the butt, I guess. There we go. Excellent. Well, we got a lot accomplished here tonight. We got 4 contracts completed. Nothing... What was that? Oh, helium deer. I just saw something, like I came around the corner and something just flashed on the screen. I didn't know what it was, and that explains it. That is just so off-putting. You just come around and, you know what? Funny story before we see more helium deer. Before we head out of here. So there's another friend of the channel. Their name is Farming Fan. And Farming Fan, I believe, is from Poland, and they speak in Polish, and I have to sit there and translate a vast majority of what they send from Polish to English. And they had made a comment on one of the most recent posts for, I believe it was the map tour I did last night. What was it? Urinharva? Anyways, it was the most recent map tour, and it was actually in English, and it kind of took me off guard for a second because I read the message first without reading who it was from. So I'm reading it, and they said said something, and then they said Santa Claus is coming to town, and they left a timestamp, and I had no idea what they were talking about at the time because it was now the entire night had passed, and this is later on in the mid afternoon ish. So I'm sitting there like, what are they talking about? So I bring up the video that they left the comment on, and then there was the helium deer there, and I was just hysterically laughing, just sitting there like, oh, they're talking about the reindeer and them flying it, and Santa's coming to town. Like, that makes so much more sense. But I was really rolling. So farming fan, if you're out there and you hear this, thank you so much for giving me a really good laugh earlier today. I was pretty much in stitches. You know, I don't know if it comes with the territory of now being a father, but you know, those kind of dad jokes, like I'm starting to get a whole new appreciation for them. You know, especially now that my daughter's getting to be the age of uh you know, starting to have to clean up my language and clean up my potty mouth, because you know, although you wouldn't necessarily know it from the live streams, but if you knew me in real life, I talk very, very different than what I talk on air and on the live streams. uh so yeah, no, it's one of those that I got to get better about. I've got to start doing better about, you know, how I, you know, how I talk and whatnot. And when when all that happened, I was just in stitches. I was just rolling. I was having a real good time. But like I said, we got quite a bit done today. We have no more contracts available to us, and it is midnight. So one of those that yeah, I think this will be a good place to leave the stream. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you so much for participating. Crimea River, thank you again for your super sticker. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for also being a 2-month member. Thank you, Mark K, for being a new BDD farmhand, a tier 2 member. Thank you, Jody, for all the conversation tonight. I greatly appreciate the participation. Yeah, it was just, I had a ball. I say this after pretty much every live stream. I had a really good time. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows that you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. That being said, hope you all have a fantastic night. Take care.